By the end of this video, you guys are going to be able to learn how to properly identify internal and external range liquidity. And this is going to be one of the most important parts in your entire trading journey that you guys need to understand to be able to have better execution and to be able to have better market targets. And I want you guys to be staying until the end because I'll be sharing you guys a free entry checklist that I personally use myself, and that also allowed me to get multiple PropFirm payouts, and also recently what I used to enable myself to send a trade signal looking like this. So let's get right into the video. Now, looking into this one, you can see there's internal liquidity and external liquidity. This is pretty much still in the family of liquidity. So that's why if you guys are pretty much new into liquidity, and if you guys are pretty much experienced into identifying liquidity, well, this video is still going to be the perfect middle ground for you guys. So make sure you guys stay. Now, for internal liquidity, this is usually the internal liquidity that you find when the market is going down, for example, like this, and it creates a trend, something like this, and it creates a pattern. Now, when you see something like this, a lot of times people are going to be having a hard time on how do you actually mark internal liquidity. When did the internal liquidity get swept? When is the external liquidity going to get targeted next? So if you have something like this, you should have an idea that everything in between here in the trend is what I'd like to call the internal range liquidity. So this is going to be internal. This is going to be internal, right? So now when the market decides to push down to the downside, everything from this low is what I'd like to call the external liquidity. Everything above this high is going to be what I'd like to call as the external range liquidity. Now, everything in between is going to be what you would like to look at as an internal liquidity. This one is going to be internal liquidity. I know it does look very simple just by looking to theory itself, but the hardest challenge is identifying it in the charts. And later on, we're going to be jumping into the charts with me providing you guys what time frames to actually use in order to fully implement this entire liquidity system. So make sure you guys stay until the end. So I know a lot of you guys pretty much know about the concept of buy-side liquidity, sell-side liquidity. Yes, they are kind of similar, but if you're looking to this one right here, when the market takes out this buy-side liquidity, that is pretty much gonna be an external liquidity forming. So when a buy side liquidity gets taken out like this, gets swept out, now the market creates a breakout to the downside, this becomes the external range liquidity. You will now have a trend. Now, why does the market create pullbacks? Well, the market creates pullback to be taking internal range liquidity, sweeping every single internal range liquidity. And if you get yourself a beautiful reaction and you know that you're with the trend which is going to the upside, best believe that what the market is going to end up doing is sweeping every single internal range liquidity, and the next objective of the market is taking out the external range liquidity, which is going to be all the way to the upside right here. So looking to the charts right now, we're going to be looking to the example of gold. Now, looking to gold over here, we're just creating higher lows. This pretty much tells us that there might be a breakout in the future. And not only that, if we're going to be viewing things just into the liquidity perspective, what do we get to see? Well, when the market just pretty much took out buy side liquidity, the next objective of the market is potentially pull back, take out internal range liquidity, and create a bigger push to the upside. Now, let's take a look into what happened. Next, we formed a new external range liquidity. It's what I like to call external liquidity or buy-side liquidity, right? We form BSL or the external liquidity. Now, the next step that you can pretty much do is if you do know that the market is bullish, what you can simply do is just wait to see how the market plays out, okay? When the market takes out external liquidity, okay, buy-side liquidity, the next objective of the market is to take out internal range liquidity. Now, looking to this trend right here, what do you guys get to see? Okay, remember what I'd like to say as well, market is fractal, price is fractal. You see it in 5 minutes, best believe you'll be able to see it in the 15 minutes as well. So within this trend up, most likely a lot of people will look at this as an H1 minor structure push up. If you take a look to the 5 minutes and even the H1, you can see that this is pretty much an H1 low. This is a swing point low. If you go to the 5 minutes, what do you guys get to see? We took out buy-side liquidity, external liquidity. We do have internal range liquidity, okay? ITL, okay? Or you can just do internal range liquidity like here. There's another internal range liquidity like this. Now, remember guys, what the market likes to do is it takes out, it sweeps all this internal range liquidity, also can manipulate into a higher time frame PD array, but those PD arrays are going to be in another video. If you guys want the full explanation for that, comment PD array and we are going to be making that video next. So looking into this right here, the market is going to be sweeping out those internal range liquidity before the bigger push to the upside. We can even have another confluence by pulling out our 50% of premium and discount, and this potential entry level is going to be in a discount point. So what you like to be doing is you just want to be waiting. You don't want to be taking any execution yet, because what ends up happening now is when we took out this previous external liquidity, you want to take that out already. You don't want to care about that. You want to be focusing on what's currently happening. Okay, you want to be focusing onto this new trend, because you do have a new range between this low and between this high right here, right? Now, the beauty of this as well is this low was able to manipulate every single low right here, this internal liquidity, before pushing to the upside. So now let's try to take a play. Now, the market is pushing down, giving us some reactions right here. Now, once you have something like this, I did not really get to see any momentum type fair value gap entry confirmation that I really like to look at. Now, with this, in a way, after sweeping our internal, you can even just take this out, because you can see we did have a deeper sweep. You can start looking for entry confirmations. Now, within this one right here, look into multiple time frames. I didn't really see my favorite IFVG pattern that I really look into here. And if you guys want to be stealing my entire trading checklist, you guys can get it for free in my free Discord. So if you guys are going to be joining the free Discord, you guys are going to be gaining access to this, and you can see that you guys get this free gold fair value gap basic checklist.pdf. And with this, in a way, you'll be able to see my context, location, and even my confirmational models that I like to be using before every trade setup. And remember, this is the same checklist that I used that allowed me to send a trade signal like this. So look into this. You can just pretty much wait for this. I really did not get to see. Okay, we had another sweep right here, and we can get to see some momentum. We have momentum. We have an IVG, M5 IFVG right here. Let's take a look at if we have any roadblock. No roadblock at all. This is when you can start putting your entry right here. Stop loss below this low, because this is where that you swept again liquidity, or the aggressive one is going to be pretty much around this area. So the best one is putting it right here, and you want to be having your take profit onto external range liquidity. You can see this trade is just going to be netting you over 2RR, but that's the thing when it comes to trading. You want to be targeting liquidity to the liquidity. This external range liquidity and the buy side liquidity, this is the next objective after taking out internal. When the market took out internal, the next objective of the market is, best believe, all the way up here, right? So now let's take a play. You see the market consolidated. Wow, look at that beautiful momentum candle exactly at 7:30. Now, this is how you guys can pretty much use about internal range liquidity and external range liquidity. Now, before your next trade, don't just ask, did the liquidity get swept? I want you guys to start asking where your internal liquidity is and whether your entry actually has confirmation. Then again, if you guys want the basic entry checklist, I put it for free inside my free Discord. You can download it for free. And if you want to see me apply it live, join the weekly webinar there as well. JCAC Trades,